doing today? You're in for another one. Welcome to Tuesday Tent Talk. I'm your host, Scott Foster, and today is another one. What do you want to talk about today? Let me tell you what we're going to talk about. This. No, not these guys, but this. So now we're talking about amusement parks, as you might have guessed. But first, let's talk to another summer tradition. That is going to the movies. Now, on Friday, this past Friday, AMC opened up over 100 movie theaters across the country. So for the first time, we had movie theaters opening. So now we have movie theaters, drive-ins, and now we actually have a box office for the first time since this whole madness began. Did you go see the movie? Did you go to the movies? AMC on Friday, if you weren't aware and didn't get to partake, they had 15-cent movie tickets. 15 cents. Now they're 100 times that, but they were celebrating the year that they opened in 1920. And guess what was number one? There's only one movie, actually two if you count SpongeBob SquarePants animated, that was an actual current release that was in the top 10, a major release, and that was Russell Crowe's Unhinged. Now, the other movies were oldie but goodies. And when I'm talking oldie but goodies, I'm talking The Goonies, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Jaws, and Jurassic Park. Now, that's for some craziness, isn't it? We'll see what happens come Labor Day weekend when the studios start releasing the bigger pictures, including Nolan Ryan's Tenet. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with those things. Are you going to go to the movie theater? Did you go already? Is that popcorn enough to incite you? Now let's turn to theme parks. This week, there is a documentary called Class Action Park. And if you were in the 60-mile radius of Vernon, New Jersey in the early 80s or mid 80s and early 90s, then you might have gone, like me, to Action Park, which was a theme park in Mount Vernon, or in Vernon, New Jersey. And it was a mix of waters and regular theme parks. For the first time, it was one of the first ever theme parks to have water slides and water rides. So it was very interesting. I won't get into the documentary because it talks about the negative of Action Park, but what, for me, is one of my first experiences of going and having theme park opportunities. Now, one of my favorites I wasn't a big water park guy, a water ride guy at the time. It was always kind of weird how to dress for that. Getting wet, getting dry, getting wet, getting dry. So I stayed in the dry and had my opportunities to ride this. They had these log flumes, these regular luge rides. The first one, which was a little crazy because you rode down on the carpet on your chest, face forward. So there was a lot of opportunities for some rug burns, and I got my fair share. The other one was you sat down on a more of a cart ride and a little dolly, four-wheel dolly, and you went down. That was fast, and then you were booking. There was people that slid right out, like you would actually see in bobsled and luge. Crazy stuff. So, if you were around then and you lived in that neighborhood of Action Park, did you go? What was your experience? Did you like it? I want to know. And if you have HBO Max, you can check out Class Action Park. Not promoting it, but I just thought it interesting that that was kind of premiering this week, so that's kind of what kind of fed me this 10 topic. Now, what was your first amusement park? Because Action Park, even though I went there a couple of times, was not my first amusement park. My first amusement park was a little bit down the road, and that was Great Adventure down 95 in New Jersey. And that came with a safari. So we would go, and my first time there, I was probably 12, 13 years old. Before we even got to the amusement park, we drove through this safari with all these animals, giraffes, monkeys, no tigers, no bears, but it was pretty wild. Monkeys were all over the car, you know, and luckily we were in a van, and so not too much damage, just scrapes, but I'm sure if some of you tried to go with a convertible, or have gone in a convertible, heard stories of people going in a convertible, know that the animals probably ripped it apart. And so that was my first introduction to amusement parks. And guess what my favorite ride was there? No, it wasn't a roller coaster. It wasn't some flume ride. It was the swings. You know, the swings, you just simple things. You sit in the swing, and it goes around, and it starts going up and up and up, and next thing you know, you're almost like 45 degrees going around. I loved that ride. As a kid, it was awesome. I went on that thing, I like had to be like yanked off it because I went on it so many times and I had to do other things. I think that was the last ride I did my first trip there. And we were like, okay, it's time to go home. And even though I didn't want to. So that was my first amusement park experience. Now I know some of you may not be amusement parkers, may not go on rides, may not be a roller coaster person, but if you are, what is your first memory of an amusement park? I'm curious to know. Let me know right here in the chat, or you can get at me on my Instagram and Twitter, AD_Foster. It's time to share. Now, I love roller coasters. I love them, and they're thrilling, and it even goes, and particularly at Great Adventure, as I got down in years and was old enough to go on the roller coaster, Action Park, Great Adventure, I don't even know if it's still there. One of the first ones I ever went on was this wooden roller coaster. They still have some around today, even though the move to metal is a lot more safer and healthier. But that roller coaster ride on a wooden roller coaster was just amazing. It was just rickety, and you felt it. You knew you were on. It was kind of added to the scariness of it all. But then I found one of my two favorite roller coasters, to this day even, that I have ever ridden. And family trip to Richmond, Virginia. And of course, we had a stop. Thank you, Mom and Dad. A stop at Busch Gardens. And that became a tradition. And there I found the Loch Ness Monster and the Big Bad Wolf. Now, the Loch Ness Monster was just your typical roller coaster, metal roller coaster, normal, sit in the seat, go. But the sound that it made of the cars going along the track just was, it added to the exhilaration of the ride. And this was spinning, this was loops, there was 2 loops in it. It was pretty wild. I was holding on for that one, but it was fun. You get off and you're screaming through it, but you want to go again. Same thing with the Big Bad Wolf. Big Bad Wolf was one of the first ever stand-up, and the cars were underneath, and and the track was above you. That was wild. That was the first thing for me, but now they're all over the place. But still, it was something fun to see and fun to do. Those are my favorite roller coaster rides. How about yours? Where is your favorite roller coaster ride? Now, maybe you're not a roller coaster person. Do you like the log flume? Do you like those free fall rides? Either when you're in a seat like this, or even a swing-like thing where you just drop. Maybe that's your scary ride. Or maybe you just like take it easy and go down the raft in the water. It's fine, whatever you like. They bring us pleasure. Now, can you name all the amusement parks you've been to? I haven't been to a lot of them. Of course, I've been to the #1 amusement park in the world, at least in the US, Disney in Orlando. And yes, it's Disney, and there is the rides and the fun rides and the different rides, but it's also Disney. I prefer the non-Disney, non-Universal rides to call home and to sing about. Now, lastly, how about the candid ride picture? What is up with that? Every time I go and look at my ride, at my picture, I want to get it. Not to mention it's already $20. But then your picture looks like you're imitating a dog sticking his head out of the window and you're going 100 miles an hour. Who in the heck wants a picture of that? You just want to burn that right away. It makes it fun. It makes you laugh. Maybe you've gotten a good picture of that. I never have. So, while we can't really enjoy our 2 summertime loves, or the big summertime fascinations that we have, the movies and the amusement parks, hope it was a fun thinking about those times that you've had and what you're looking forward to when you can go back to an amusement park. And let me know. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite part of an amusement park is. And if you don't like amusement parks, again, which is okay, feel free to tell me why. Either here in the chat or again, AD_Foster, Instagram and Twitter. You have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. I'll be back in a week for another Tuesday 10 Talk.